Good afternoon. Welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now. April 12, 2026. Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, has immediately ordered the closure of the Strait of Hormuz for Iran. The business is over. No more holding international shipping hostage and collecting taxes. Trump has arrived, the Navy has arrived, and this is turning into an open war again. Family, your likes, your comments. Let's get started. Oh. Good afternoon, family. Welcome to Military Strategies. We are live right now. Welcome to your channel, to your community. Many thanks to its history. Ariel Kaniewski for that raid. Congratulations. Ariel, for the coverage you are doing. Incredible, incredible. It's pure gold right now. Jewish history rising to the sky. Welcome. They said the war is over. They said Trump leaves the building. He flees. And strategies, he said. After the initial anger, but after calming down and thinking it over, gentlemen, this is simply a stop along the way to recharge, aim, and fire. That is precisely what has happened. That is precisely what is happening right now. Images of the Strait of Hormuz. Those were different times. Those were days when Iran was building mock-ups of aircraft carriers and dreaming of sinking them. Iran, they talked and said, they have more than 1,000 fast boats ready to attack in Japanese kamikaze style. At any United States aircraft carrier that comes close, ballistic missiles, anti-ship ballistic missiles, anti-ship cruise missiles, drones, artillery. They had the Strait of Hormuz closed, naval mines. Those were the tests they did to sink the supposed aircraft carrier. None of that worked for them. No aircraft carrier, nothing sank. From the United States Navy, they only managed to shoot down one F-15 plane in more than 44 days of war. That was Iran's achievement, launching ballistic missiles with cluster warheads against Middle Eastern cities. Fuad was Lami, Sarizadeh, they were alive. It seemed like it was yesterday, February 28th, when I woke up for the first time on the last day, the next morning, of his life on this planet. It took Israel 40 seconds to teach Khamenei that there are weapons more powerful than an aircraft carrier. Those that flew from Israel to the heart of Iran. That's how the story went. Family, that's how things happened, and that's how they're happening. Last night, a global earthquake. Right now, the markets, by the way, I have to admit that for the first time in my life, I just invested in oil. I don't want to give financial advice to anyone, but I just invested in oil, just a little bit, so don't get too excited. It's just to see what happens, out of curiosity. I'm not going to start any financial strategies or crypto strategies. Don't worry. But I was just curious. And it's a shame. I did it in the market that's open. 24 hours. I should have done it in the one that opens tomorrow. Look, maybe I'll do it later because it's already gone up 12% since last night when JD Vance left Pakistan. Last night, we had the exclusive in the Hispanic community, with the images of JD Vance leaving. And I said this was Iran's last chance. They didn't take it. They didn't seize it. It's okay. It's going to hurt them more than it hurts me, more than it hurts the United States. That happened last night.
Well, good morning, everybody. And
after 21 hours of work,
say a couple of notes of appreciation. First of all, to the Prime Minister of Pakistan.
Thank the Prime Minister of Pakistan. By the way, before we get into this mess, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe and let's see if we can reach 510,000 today. Let's see if we end the month with 600,000. It's difficult. Nothing is impossible. Never give up. Always move forward. A straight path. If you like the content, please, your super chats are very welcome. This channel is funded thanks to you. We are not funded by any government, any entity, or any billionaire fund. Soros or anyone else hasn't sent us a check, or maybe it got lost along the way. And the Mossad is currently low on funds after blowing up all of Iran. You also have our PayPal at .me/estrategiasmilitares. And besides, today, which is Sunday, is a good day. We're going to promote a new discounted MyHeritage offer so you can find out where your origins are. If you have relatives scattered around the world, distant cousins, some even siblings, all of that today here on Estrategias Militares. With a special code AM29, which you will have to enter on the website when you get your kit and discover interesting things. But the thing is, for us to be here, we must have a common ancestor. In the time of Jesus, in the time of the Yon, in ancient times, we're part of a chain, genetics, that have been passed down over time, and now, just like our ancestors, and the invasion of Nebuchadnezzar, humans, Napoleon, and the more recent Second World War. Now it's our turn to live through our own history. This might be the war of the 21st century. For now, we still have more than half a century to find out how this story will end. But for now, this is our war, this is our moment. This is the moment when we are going to write history. A story told day by day, as long as God allows it. JD Vance.
Y al mariscal de campo Munir, quienes fueron ambos anfitriones increíbles y cualquier deficiencia en la negociación. No fue culpa de los pakistaníes, quienes hicieron un trabajo increíble y realmente intentaron ayudarnos nosotros y a los iraníes a cerrar la brecha y llegar a un acuerdo. We've been at this now for 21 hours, and we've had a number of substantive discussions with.
We have been working for 21 hours straight.
The Iranians,
we have had discussions with the Iranians. That has been the good news. It's a bad sign when JD says the good news is that we talked. They've been able to communicate. The translation service worked. Everything has been fine.
The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement.
The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement. I like it. There's something, you know that my preference is Marco Rubio. In terms of political profile, my preference is Marco Rubio. You know that since day one. I don't hide it, and I have no reason to hide it. But there is something I do like about JD. He's direct. A puerto. He doesn't beat around the bush. He doesn't try to sugarcoat it. He tells you the good and the bad. This is the good. This is the bad. The bad thing is that there's no agreement. I agree.
And I think that's bad news for Iran much more than it's bad news for the United States of America. So,
And I think that's worse news for Iran than for the United States. By the way, let's hope Wojtkov is okay because he almost got into a fight with Arachi. There was a moment at that table when Arachi and Wojtkov stood up and were about to go at it. Crazy.
the United States having not come to an agreement,
The United States has not reached an agreement.
we've made very clear what
We have made it very clear.
our boundaries are, what we're willing to accommodate and what we're not.
There are things we can accommodate, things we can accommodate.
We're not willing to accommodate them on, and we've made that as clear as we possibly could.
And we've made it as clear as possible.
And they have chosen not to accept our terms.
And they have decided not to, and decided to accept those terms.
Questions?
Questions? Sure, we watched it last night. If you missed it, you can watch it now. Here's the MyHeritage link. We'll add it to the description. Give me a moment. You'll have it in the video description. It'll also be available there for you. En estamos. There's something we need to understand. More than that, we need to realize the situation we're in. The United States didn't go to ask for a ceasefire. It went to explain to Iran how to save face. What is it? What is the way? Hell, how can the regime be saved from total collapse? Over the last few weeks, the last few days, people have been talking, rambling, saying, yes, the United States has surrendered, they've run out of weapons, they're afraid, one of their planes was shot down, and that's why they're going to run away. A series of things, and none of it makes any sense. But anyway, I think we've taken a position here. Critical, that's why this could end tomorrow. The mission, but also with realism. What realism? From the start, when the truce was announced, we wondered why they were still sending more planes. If they're announcing a truce, then why is an aircraft carrier arriving if the war is supposed to be over? Sending airborne and naval assault troops? If the war is over, why another battle group? An amphibious assault group. It's arriving in the Persian Gulf. What's the point of all this? Why are the planes carrying ammunition going crazy in the skies, taking munitions to the military bases? Why is Saudi Arabia demanding that the United States bomb Iran until it's like Persepolis, ruins of what was once an empire? The world was more interested in saying the rescue operation was a failure. What happened with the pilot was a failure. They didn't manage to invade Isfahan to take the uranium. Saying a bunch of nonsense and stories to try to obscure the military efforts of Israel and the United States. And what's more, even though Israel is the little brother, as the United States says, in air operations, they've shown greater lethality than the United States of America. What does it mean? That the military intelligence service, not the Mossad, the military intelligence service that also exists within the Israeli army, is on an extraordinary level. They have always placed the ammunition exactly where it needed to be. Rarely. During these 40 days of war, when it has been announced that Israel has taken someone out, they have been wrong. More than 90% accuracy. In 3 different scenarios: defense, attack, and maintenance. Logistical maintenance. The planes have been making more than 3 or 4 flights a day to Iran for over 40 days. No modern force has ever faced a logistical challenge like this. Travel 2,000 kilometers
Unload, launch an attack, return, send the crew, and go out again. The same plane. The ones we're seeing now. Planes that are very old, some of them. The F-15S are old, the ones in Israel's fleet. Now they've bought new ones. That can show us the level of preparation Israel has for this war. Years and years of preparation. The planning, maps, intelligence gathering, infiltration into the enemy's networks. We were amazed, wondering how they tracked Khamenei. How did they know what time he woke up? By tracking Tehran's traffic cameras, identifying the personnel moving around Khamenei. It's absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. But the world, as always, just like Donald says, fake news. They were more focused on calling it a failure. This is a failure. It's a shame that this platform, YouTube, is also becoming another hotbed of misinformation. People talking about things they don't know, that they don't understand, things they hear here and there, picking up bits from here and there without seeing the full picture of the conflict. There is a country called the Islamic Republic of Iran that wants to obtain nuclear weapons to destroy random countries around the world. United States, Israel, Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates. Why? Because it is a civilization that wants to expand, that wants to conquer. They think they are the sacred warriors of Islam, that they are the ones who will make it return. For them, the Messiah is called Mahdi. There will be a struggle with the Dajjal, the Antichrist, Revolución Islámica. That lie, that mindset instilled from a young age, rooted since the 1970s by the Islamic Revolution. Revolution makes it impossible to negotiate with them. You can't. It's not like in Venezuela. You put Delcy Rodriguez, who being poor, knows in the end what her fate will be if she doesn't follow orders. They love death, just as we love life. It's one of the commandments of the jihadists. We love death as much as you infidels love life. For them, dying is the best gift you can give. For them, dying while killing as many infidels as possible is even better. The more, the greater the reward in what they call Jannah, paradise. But our West, our way of life, the countries of Europe, Spain, Germany, France, and a few more, they don't realize this. They don't realize this whole story of everything that's happening. But there is Israel. It's not about making propaganda. You're already in that mode. No, there's Israel. It coexists with them. It lives with them. It fights them. It acts as a back so that Iran, instead of reaching Lebanon, doesn't reach the Strait of Gibraltar. Just imagine. Just imagine that in a month, Iran came and said, I have 10 nuclear bombs. If you don't pay me 10, 15, $20 million for each ship that passes through the Strait, I'll drop a nuclear bomb on you. And now, who will come to defend us? Pedro Sánchez, Macron, the German, the British one? Who would come to defend us from a power out of control, full of ideologically, spiritually, and religiously radicalized fanatics with nuclear weapons? The world is still trembling, not knowing what will happen with North Korea. Who could sleep in Israel, in Saudi Arabia, in the United Arab Emirates, knowing that the neighbor across from them wants to drop a nuclear bomb on them? Any morning? Could it start? Israel did it. It started on the morning of February 28th. 40 seconds for the threat, not with nuclear weapons, obviously. Imagine that on February 28th, 2027, Sahel. Iran pushes the button. Some launchers come out from a mountain loaded with 10, 12, or 20 nuclear warheads heading toward Israel. It's not about having air defense. The nuclear explosion, even if it happened at a certain altitude, would spread radiation and make large areas of land on this planet uninhabitable. That's the point. That's the story behind all of this. But the world keeps thinking that without a criminal outbreak of war, that without Gaza, this, that, and the other. By the way, speaking of Gaza, life in Gaza has already returned to normal. That is, before October 7th, you're going to see it. Terrible. Very, very terrible. And that's how the world is. Let's check what Donald Trump said now that the Strait of Hormuz is closing. We're going to give you the details, the key points of all this. Folks, what does the closure of Hormuz mean? We also have Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Danon, who has also spoken and is also commenting on Fox. Fox News is really on fire today. It's on fire. So give me a couple of seconds. Let's get this ready. 1 sec. Well, we're already here, family. We're already here. Thank you very much. Where do we start? With the breaking news or with whom? We have a ton of breaking news. We have a lot of information. We even have Pezeshkian. Who? Breaking news with Pezeshkian. Let's start there. Yeah. The president of Iran, Pezeshkian, in a call with Vladimir Putin, president of Russia, he says that Iran is ready for a balanced and fair agreement that guarantees long-term peace and security. Block of the Strait off. Surely the call took place before Donald Trump announced the blockade. Now the Iranians realize that acting tough, messing with the United States of America at a negotiating table with the vice president was not a good idea. They're already starting to back. Let's move on to Donald Trump. Today, he addressed it. He talked about everyone, for everyone, and he had something to say to everyone. Tremendous. Last night, Potos was watching a UFC fight in Miami with Marco Rubio, too. He was very calm. Donald Trump was extremely calm. He said if they want it easy, let them open it. Otherwise, they'll have to open it the hard way. I don't care. Potos. Potos is going to speak to us in this clip on Fox News. What's he think about all this? What does he want? Let's listen to Potos.
This morning saying that we will begin the process of blockading any and all ships trying to enter or leave the Strait of Hormuz.
We are going to block all ships that want to enter or leave Hormuz that paid the revolutionary tax to Iran.
And at some point, we will reach a point where everyone is allowed to go in and everyone is allowed to go out.
And at some point, we will decide who controls and who enters and who leaves. What is the Fox News journalist referring to here? Early this morning, POTUS posted on his social network, Truth, he was posting a manifesto, like a kind of spiritual guide. What's going to happen with Iran? Let's put the photo here so you can see it and understand what this whole story is about, because the commotion has already started. The Strait of Hormuz is closed, except for Iranian ships. They continue to move freely and are even still selling on the market. United States, it made this easier for them to see if that would open the strait, but it hasn't. What does POTUS say? Iran pledged to open the Strait of Hormuz. And knowingly, they didn't do it. This caused anxiety, disruption, and pain to many people and countries around the world. They say they placed mines in the water, even though their entire navy and most of their mine layers have been completely destroyed. They may have done it, but what ship owner would want to take that risk? There is great dishonor, permanent damage to the reputation of Iran and what's left of its leaders. We've already moved past that, as they promised. We'd better start the process to open this international sea route, and quickly. They are breaking all the laws. Vice President Jerry Vance, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner gave me a detailed briefing about the meeting that took place in Islamabad, thanks to the kind and very competent leadership of Field Marshal Asimov and of Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif of Pakistan. They are extraordinary men. And they constantly thank me for having saved between 30 and 50 million lives in what would have been a terrible war with India. I always appreciate hearing that. The humanity they talk about is incomprehensible. The meeting with Iran started early in the morning and lasted all night, nearly 20 hours. I could go into a lot of detail and talk about everything that has been built, but there's only one thing that matters, and Iran is not willing to give up its nuclear ambitions in many ways. The agreed points are better than continuing our military operations until their conclusion. But none of those points matter compared to allowing nuclear energy to be in the hands of people who are so volatile, difficult, and unpredictable. My three representatives, as time went on, became, as expected, much friendlier toward Iran and more respectful than the representatives from Iran. Ghalibaf, Araghchi, Bagheri. But that doesn't matter, because they were inflexible on the most important issue. And as I've always said, from the beginning, and for many years, Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Donald J. Trump. Well, this was Donald J. Trump's statement on this topic. And then in the video he said,
So tell us what you're trying to accomplish with this blockchain.
He says, try to explain to us what you want with all this.
Yep, it's called all in and all out. Will be a time when we'll have
All or nothing. I want all or nothing. It's all or nothing. That's just how it is. You saw what we did in Venezuela. This will be similar, but on a bigger scale.
They all come in and all come out, but it won't be a percentage. It won't be a friend of yours, like a country that's your ally or a country that's your friend. It's all or nothing.
All or nothing.
And that'll be that won't be in too long a distance. No, we're just bringing the ships up. We got a lot of ships that we're bringing up. We think
it's called all in or all out. There will be a moment when we'll bring everyone in and take everyone out. But it won't be a percentage. It won't be a friend of yours, like a country that's your ally or a country that's your friend. It's all or nothing.
Numerous countries will help us with this, but we're enforcing a full blockade. and won't allow it.
We're going to impose a complete blockade.
Iran make money on,
We're not going to allow Iran to make money.
no. Selling oil to people that they like and not people that they don't like, no.
We won't let them charge people based on who they like or dislike.
Whatever it is, it'll be all or nothing. That's how it is.
And it's going to be all or nothing. We're bringing in ships. We have many ships that we're bringing. We believe that numerous countries are going to help us with this as well. We are imposing a total blockade. Seña. We are not going to allow Iran to make money by selling oil to people they like and not to people they don't like or whatever, period.
It is, and it'll be, you saw what we did with Venezuela.
Suscríbete. Says you've seen what we've done with Venezuela. Subscribe.
It'll be something very similar to that, but
It's going to be something very similar to this, but
at a higher level.
at a higher level.
Is subscribe, Mr. President. You say that there may be a mine out there somewhere that nobody knows about but them, and this is
Mr. President, you have said that there may be mines that nobody knows where they are. Now we will see about that. First clip of Donald Trump. And this is important because it draws a lot of attention. Iran's plan is to charge China and Russia very little for that oil and charge other countries a lot. Charge you more for the oil. Additionally, you must pay a crossing fee. Countries like China keep getting richer. What's the point? So what then? If what the United States wants is precisely to prevent China from continuing to be a low-cost producer because fuel oil is cheap for them, makes sense, doesn't it? From day one, Estrategias Militares commented and said, Iran is going to keep Iran's oil, whether we like it or not. Like it or not, they're keeping the oil. One regret, an operation costing millions and millions of dollars just to free Iran. You have to make them pay for it. Because in the end, it's the American people who have to foot the bill. And if NATO isn't willing to pay jointly, if the European Union and the rest of the countries aren't willing to pay the bill, the United States is going to make them pay. Just like they're making Venezuela pay. Now they can't buy oil from Venezuela at a low cost anymore. Now, the Spanish government can't have organized crime groups reselling oil through politicians anymore. This is over. And that's going to end in Iran. So Donald Trump makes it clear. Want to close the Strait of Hormuz? Fine. Now we're really going to close it. Now we're going to close it for your friends' ships. The ships you sell to India, the ships you sell to China, the ones you sell to Russia, the ones you sell to a lot of countries, those are the ships that are going to be blocked. And let's see how long you can hold out. Let's see who can hold out longer. This is like when you're locked in a room. Well, this is like what happened to Nasrallah. They launch an attack at you, you stay inside the bunker, and you stay alive. But the oxygen starts running out. Someone faints in front of you. You see someone begin to have seizures. And in the end, you say, the fewer people left alive, the more oxygen there will be for me. And you end up killing them all. But the rescue doesn't come. So in the end, you die too. Later, but you die. It's the same thing. It's the same story in the Strait of Hormuz right now. Ships that are paying. This one, heading to China. Panamanian flag 2, heading to China, Spain. Salam, from Iran. And it's been here for quite a while. All these ships we see around here are Iranian. They're waiting to pass through or enter. Riyang está, another one. Also, pay. Everyone you see here pays the bill. That tab is closed. No more tolls will be paid to Iran. Paying you with cryptocurrencies. I'll pay you in yuan. That's not going to happen. To that end, the other day, just yesterday, and we got the news here in the community. the United States was sending America 2 destroyers from the United States Navy out for a little cruise. What did Iran do? What was Iran's response on this matter? And what happened? My brother from Judah History posted it, so I will too. Let's listen to the audio from some guys threatening an Arleigh-Burke-class destroyer, 2 Arleigh-Burke-class destroyers. By the way, they knew or thought there was only one, because they had seen that in this show we're watching, the one we're talking about right now. It had appeared. The signal from a United States destroyer, United States of America. What they didn't know was that it was accompanied by another one, more air escort. Well, Iran is like that. Look, the movie they have playing in their heads and just how far they're willing to go. That's all it takes. Just by listening to the audio, we can tell that they're unbalanced. Completely, in fact.
Warship 121. This is a station.
Buque de guerra 1, Heron and Mall. This is Sepak Navy Station.
You must alter course and go back to the Indian Ocean immediately.
You better change course and go back to the Indian Ocean. Which means we already know that the destroyer entered. At least one of them entered or was heading inside, not leaving, but entering the Persian Gulf.
If you don't obey my order, you will.
If you don't obey my orders,
And be targeted.
look for note 21. He says, if you don't obey my orders, you'll be a target. Out. And pay attention to what the Arleigh-Burke class destroyer says to the insolent member of the Revolutionary Guard.
This is Coalition G1.
21. This is Warship 121.
Engaged in transit passes
Carrying out a passage through the Strait of Hormuz
in accordance with internet.
in accordance with international laws.
No challenges were addressed to you.
No threats are being made against you.
US Navy Warship.
And now another one answers him. Of course, they cut the audio when they speak to him because there is an audio from the United States that should be revealed. They should do it immediately. Where? The United States tells him, we're not a threat to you. But they are. If they open fire on us, they can say goodbye to this life. An Arleigh-Burke-class destroyer can launch more than 40 cruise missiles at you in a matter of seconds. It can unleash hell on you, any of these little islands, where they have set up a radio to threaten ships.
Transiting in the vicinity for the port and
Ships that are transiting near the port of Sharik, the Arak Sharik, and Oman. This is Sepang from the Navy.
and I know Navy last warning,
Last warning, channel 16.
last warning.
Last warning.
This is reported. Puedo penetración. I can transit.
And then you can hear them talking on the radios, on the walkie-talkies, also with the electronic warfare systems that the destroyer has. It can detect where those signals are coming from. So, paramos, ¿qué hacemos? So they were already geolocating where the guys talking on the radio were. They start getting nervous. What do we do? What do we do? Do we shoot? Do we not shoot? What do we do?
Attention, attention.
And this is the solution. Attention, attention, attention. Navigators. This is incredible. Atención, atención. To all ships.
Always attention, all vessels.
Attention to all ships.
in Oman Sea.
In the Sea of Oman.
This is irrelevant.
This is the Navy. This.
If you see any warship in your
If you see any warship
vicinity,
near you,
keep a distance more than 10 miles from the
keep a distance of more than 10 miles from the warship,
because I'm ready to open fire on them
because I'm prepared to open fire on them
without any warning.
without any warning. You die. We can learn a lot from this audio. There is a lot of information we can get from this audio, and they themselves haven't even realized. They've told us. The situation with the Iranian Navy is even worse than we thought. Much worse. After weeks of taking fire and being annihilated, the situation is worse than we ever imagined. 1. I was saying that the situation is worse than we ever imagined. 4 weeks. Point number 1. They don't have the capacity, uno, to identify on a radar where the warship 121 is. 1. 2. They don't have the capability to launch combat munitions with precision on a single ship. There's need there to be no other ships within 10 miles around the destroyer. 121 of the United States Navy to lock onto it on their radar, on the missiles radar, and try to attack it. The situation is worse than we thought. But there they are. They're telling their side of the story. Unbelievable. Amazing family. And the destroyer's crew is worried. There you see it. Arleigh class, firing cruise missiles. From the front and from the back. From bow and stern. It's incredible. It's amazing. I'll do this again, but without music. There's one thing that's clear, and I'm going to explain it to you. And the only way Iran could sink or damage a destroyer, a Ticonderoga class guided missile cruiser, an Arleigh Burke class destroyer, that's what the United States uses as standard in this type of operation. It would be launching anti-ship missiles of Chinese origin, Soviet origin, derived from the KH-55 model, domestically produced, the SOMAR, which is, let's say, perhaps the most dangerous thing they could do. Why? The issue of drones against a ship that has anti-aircraft defense, it's practically impossible, unless you launch 1,000 at once. And you leave it without anti-air defense. You leave it without ammunition. But on top of that, there were 2 destroyers. 2, not 1. 2. There was more air cover over the Strait of Hormuz at that moment. So forget about the drone issue. The issue with anti-ship ballistic missiles, which they have, also presents a problem for them. You need the ship to go very slowly, keep the same direction, or be stationary. The moment the ship moves, makes evasive maneuvers, and besides, destroyers are quite fast. So you need an anti-ship missile. A missile that flies almost at water level, traveling at subsonic speed or faster. If it's faster, that's even better. Because with that missile, you put the air defense in check, since it flies at low altitude and high speed. And it would be your only chance. What's going on with this? Let's put it here. What you see here is Iran Sumar or Sonar missile. Sumar is a surface-launched cruise missile, as it says there, which is the same as or a copy of the Russian Kach-55. It also has a propulsion system with a booster. The last part you see, this one down here, is a booster that later separates. Let's say that's to give it an initial push, so it can pick up speed quickly. What we see down here is the jet that powers a kind of small turbine that propels the missile. It's a missile that flies at low altitude. All right. You need a radar. This missile is guided by radar. It's also a semi-active radar-guided missile. First, you need a radar to mark the target, which might be 100 or 150 kilometers away, and launch it into that area for a while. It guides it for a while. When the internal radar that the missile has notices the size of the missile, the cone at the tip is narrow. It has a radar inside, a small radar. Imagine that radar as an inverted triangle. The triangle's tip emerges from the missile and begins to open. An angle. It's a search angle. Since it's a missile that's small, not big, that angle is narrow. So it can only search in a very narrow angle. That's why it needs radar on land or on another ship to give it information during flight about roughly where the other ship is. Knowing this, coming back here to the Arleigh-Burke, let's imagine that Iran had an active naval radar. It has illuminated the Arleigh-Burke. It has managed to distinguish it from all the ships that are in this area. Imagine it here. Out of all these ships, imagine that one of them is the Arleigh-Burke. It's the US destroyer, number 121. Maybe imagine it here in this area. They have illuminated this one in particular with their radar. This is imaginary. They launched a missile. The missile approaches without activating its radar, so that the ship doesn't detect that a missile is coming. Because, of course, the ship's radar defense system detects radar signals, like a kind of aerial sonar. The Doppler signal, that's what it's called, detects it. So it detects the position, altitude, speed, it detects everything. So, the missile is launched in silent mode. Excuse me? We're around here looking for this. There it is. When it gets close, when the missile is near the ship, let's imagine it's this ship here, when it's at a distance of I don't know how many miles. Stand by. Depending on the type of missile, it activates its radar, stops using the other one, and then goes straight for the ship, hitting the ship. At that moment, of course, the ship's defense has to activate, it has to locate the missile principle. And it has to fire at the missile if it hasn't detected it beforehand. Well, Iran doesn't have the main radar. United States. And that's what's happening. Iran is telling the United States, excuse my voice, after 4 shows yesterday in Rota, Iran is telling the United States and to the ships that are miles away from the position, the ship at, let's put here ship A, let's put here ship 121, that's so people can understand. And realize Ship 121. Let's imagine that this ship is here in the middle of the Strait of Hormuz. But let's imagine that 10 miles away. To switch to nautical miles. At that point, we would have a cargo ship. Cargo ship. I'm going to try to prepare a visual representation of how it's done. That is, doing it like we've done it a few times from one to a visual of how this happens, how the attack happens, how the defense system works. Are they telling the ships to stay 10 miles away from this ship? That. So that when they launch the missile, which goes without radar support, but they just launch it blindly in the direction where they think the 121 is, there won't be any ship within the 10-mile search range of the radar. In horizontal mode, so that it doesn't lock onto a cargo ship. El 121. That is, since they don't have the enemy ship's vision radar, the 121, they have to launch the missile blindly toward a vector where they believe it is. The aircraft carrier, the destroyer, the boat, whatever it may be. The missile activates its radar upon reaching this area. And if it happens to detect a ship, which could be the Harley-Burke or any other ship, it will go after it and attack it. This is what nobody has talked about. Nobody is talking about right now. And nobody has realized that Iran can launch a precision attack on ships at this moment. And all of that is thanks to the wonderful, marvelous conversation of these guys who, by the way, hours later sent this. An image of an Iranian drone in the Strait of Hormuz taking a stroll. Of course, this is another way. They launch a drone, they see from the drone where the ship is. Where is the Harley-Burke? And then they launch the missile over there. It's not that they guide it by laser. They take the coordinates of where the ship is and launch it. Here. That's why they need a radar, they need a drone, they need a something. What area are we seeing here? Here. This. Video. That's the area shown in the video. Look over there. And look at what we also discovered with this video. Also, see what we'll uncover with this video that they missed? It slipped past them in a single frame. Honestly, it's pathetic. I don't know about the intelligence service or what they're doing. Here, it's pathetic. Watch what's about to happen here. Look, an ad is about to pop up. Let's try to place it and click on it. Right then. There it is. Information. The signal is weak. The signal is weak. Just when we're watching this island. Jarizad Salam. That one we see there. Also, what they don't show us is that the camera is at maximum zoom because it's a digital zoom. If we look at the camera's resolution, we realize that it's digital because the image isn't that clear or sharp. That's what we can tell from what we're seeing right now. Why do we know it's here if we look closely? Zona. Why do we know it's that place? Notice that there's the big island. Well, big in quotes. And then there are two others in that area. So we already know they're filming this area here, Yarizad Finaku and Yarizad Tadmur, the three little islands. In fact, the drone's position or the angle it's recording from would be approximately the one we're seeing right now. The drone would be recording along this diagonal. We take the image, we place it like this, and we can see that the image matches exactly with the geolocation we're doing live right now. I didn't have it prepared. We're doing it live. This is not prepared. What you can confirm? In fact, if we want to confirm completely, let's do it another way. There. Sorry, let's move it so we can overlay one image on the other. We have to turn a little. Camera, that's far enough. I'll move the camera now. I love this thing. You already know that. It's super entertaining. So notice that the drone has to be much farther back to get that shot. Map. There you can see the three islets matching the image on the map. Oh, this is awesome. If we turn it a little, that's pretty much where we would be. Has to get a little closer. There it is. I want to say something too. They don't have long-range communications equipment. Let's be generous with the measurement. Let's take another measurement, this time in kilometers. Larak Island. We believe that drone could have taken off from Larak Island. Or it could be controlled from Larak, even if it's launched from somewhere else. Say they've placed themselves above the island, though we can't be certain. The footage was recorded from kilometers away. "40 kilometers. "40 kilometers, but be careful. Let me stress again. The video, this one we're watching, is recorded from a long distance. They're not passing right over the island. There, we might see the shadow of some ships. Again, weak signal. Now it does seem like it was approaching there at some point. And what we should look at is what they were recording. first, they are recording this area here, but then they want to record here, this area here, which is where the concentration of boats is more important. Therefore, your drone can move up to this area. Let's make a line. That would be the red line. That's as far as your drone can go. A drone that can be shot down in seconds. In seconds. What was the point of all this? They don't have equipment on their side, so their observation capability is very limited. 35 kilometers, 40, generally speaking, Venerosos. It's poor, very poor, especially with a system that can be shot down by any ship. Thank you. This also shows how degraded they are right now in Iran for their surveillance systems. We're discussing types. We have it around here as well. You saw it in the intro. They had drones that were highly advanced. We have it here. They had highly advanced systems to launch them in the Strait of Hormuz, launch missiles, launch a bunch of things. They had shown us models of these, of drones, like the ones they captured from the United States back in Obama's time, a Sentinel attack. They've been showing us this type of attack drone. Observation drones no longer exist. That doesn't exist. They no longer have them. These are the control stations we see here. They are the points that serve as radio frequency links. There it is. Those are the trucks we later see explode. And we're going to see it now in video. We're going to see it. So that's not there anymore. You can. If the antenna is at a height, if the operator is at a greater height, it will reach farther or it will not reach as far. But nowadays, you can buy one. Nowadays, you go to a store and buy a drone. I'm not naming the brand, or they'll say it's advertising. And it can reach 25 or 30 kilometers without any trouble. Without any trouble. So, there we can see that Iran's technological shortcomings are huge. Very big. Huge. This is not being used. There is no armed force anymore. There are no planes left to carry out bombing anymore. All of that has been destroyed. Vamos. But anyway, let's see now. Let's go. What has Donald Trump said about this topic? Family, there are 30,000 of us live right now. Only 12,000 likes. We need a lot more likes, please. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed. It's super important to support us. If not, they're going to censor us. They want to shut down the channel because they dislike us discussing these topics. I don't know why. They're afraid of something. But oh well. We'll try not to be silenced. You also have our Telegram group, Estrategia Militares. Be careful because there's another group that's illegal. They're using our logo. We have nothing to do with cryptocurrency investments. Nothing like that. We won't tell anyone what to invest in, ask for money, or do anything privately. Here, there are only two ways to support us: Super Chats and PayPal. PayPal.me/Estrategia Militares. That's it. So be careful. And family, I don't want anything to happen to you.
We're going to be blockading. It'll take a little while, but it'll be...
We're going to block. Vamos, it's going to take us a little while, but we're going to block.
effective pretty soon. And we had meetings yesterday.
Yesterday we had meetings.
As you said, the last 21 hours.
For 21 hours. That has been a very long meeting.
Very, very good representatives. Good
representatives.
Steve.
I saw JD, Steve.
Steve and Jared.
Jarek.
So we were well represented, but...
We were well represented. Notice how Donald Trump is letting it slip. I haven't sent the one who is supposedly my opponent to negotiate with them. And he has realized that you can negotiate.
We didn't get there on the important issue. They want to have nuclear weapons.
On a very important point, we haven't managed to keep them from getting nuclear weapons. And these guys want to have nuclear weapons.
They won't have nuclear weapons.
They're not going to have nuclear weapons.
But I've been saying that for 30 years.
I've been saying that for 30 years.
Never allow that to happen.
We will never allow this to happen.
Before I was in politics.
I said that before I was even in politics.
And that country will not have nuclear weapons.
And that country will not have nuclear weapons.
Most countries shouldn't have them, but that country won't. Nuclear weapons.
That country won't have nuclear weapons. It's clear. If I wanted peace, this could end today. You bring the uranium, you shut down Isfahan, you shut down Natanz, you shut down Fordow, you blow them up with dynamite, or, I don't know, you set up a food pantry there. But no uranium at all. They just don't get it. These people just don't get it. Donald Trump is messing it up. He's messing things up quite a lot. Let's see his comments on Netanyahu. We also need to consider the position. What's happening with Israel? What will Israel do? What role will Israel play in all this? And how is Israel going to carry out its operation as well? Viendo. The operation it has to carry out, obviously in a situation like the one we're seeing. Let's see.
Wanted you to explain to the audience.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted you to explain to the audience.
Yeah, I think they would use it. And they start with Israel, and one weapon would, do damage like nobody's ever seen. Wipe it out, conceivably a big one.
Now,
not wipe it out.
But he says he thinks everyone saw it, that they used a weapon that blew everything up, and that no one had ever seen it before, that they blew everything up. They are referring to Israel's air-launched ballistic missile systems.
They don't need more than one. And then...
And if not, they needed more than one.
They go after the Middle East, and then they'd eventually come here. Okay? And we're not letting them come here, and we're not going to let them. We have strong allies there, I'll tell you.
He says, we have great allies there.
Yes. Those 5 countries...
Those 5 countries...
Look at the Israeli relationship.
He says, consider the relationship with Israel.
Look at the incredible partnership we have.
He says, look at the incredible partnership we have with them.
On this, and, as Bibi Netanyahu said...
He says, Bibi Netanyahu...
We're the big brother, and then...
We are the big brother and the little brother.
Done. The small brother. And, it's been a very effective team. What we've done...
And it's been a very effective team.
In a matter of days, within 3 or 4 days...
He says in a matter of days, in 3 or 4 days...
And that's...
They crushed Iran. Have all this discussion we were having. Bibi and Trump are angry with each other, but they're not actually angry. What will happen to the Strait of Hormuz? What will the Strait of Hormuz be called? Donald Trump.
I was thinking about calling it the Gulf of Trump.
I'm going to tell you the truth. I was thinking about calling it the Gulf of Trump. The journalist bursts out laughing. She says he's crazy.
Decided not to do it.
He says he decided not to do it, and she replies, thank goodness. News, thank goodness. Check the Fox News reporter's face.
I was thinking about calling it the Gulf of Trump.
Trump, he says, I considered calling it the Trump Gulf. Trump.
Okay. And I decided not to do it. I think maybe it was a way.
All right, okay. Better not. No, I thought it was better not to do it, says Trump.
I think that one maybe wouldn't have worked out. I'm not sure. You'll have to tell me.
But yes, he says, I think... Trump says...
Trump.
I think it wouldn't have worked. I'm not so sure, but I was thinking it was going to be called the Trump Gulf.
Trump.
I was thinking it might be called the Gulf of Trump. Then I said, that's not going to play well.
I think you're here. No, I'm kidding. You're being facetious. Oil exporter.
Let's see what it says there.
I'm kidding.
You're being facetious. Include an anecdote.
It says there's a red line tomorrow. Has anyone heard of Red Line Tomorrow? I think so, I don't know. Plan. What is Donald Trump going to do if Iran doesn't abandon its nuclear weapons plan? The journalist asks if he is going to do much more damage.
Is that the plan? Will you further destroy Iran?
Is that the plan? Are you going to destroy Iran?
Yeah, I will.
Yes, I will do it.
You give that plan up? Yeah.
If you don't give up that plan, yes, I will do it.
I'm not in you, Jerry. What we want to do is we'll open up the Strait.
He says, I've made it very clear, we want to open the Strait.
But the ships are coming up to the United States. Let's talk about that.
He says, but the ships are now coming to the US to load oil. I mean, for him, the Strait of Hormuz is really something personal. He showed his power, that we can go there, open the Strait, despite all the difficulties it has. Esto, the ships will load in the United States, so the US profits from this. And pay attention to this.
News. Pay attention to this breaking news.
Donald Trump. Donald. We have new weapons. We have new weapons. Breaking news right now with the Estrategia Militares family, 31,000 people. Oh my goodness. Seven in the evening, April 12, 2026, Donald Trump tells the world, we have new weapons. And pay attention, because here, on military strategies, we have an exclusive. Once again, one more time, we have it.
Since who knows what it is, but we knocked them out. We knocked out where they make the drones, and the drones are less effective now.
Drones. Trump says, here, we have machinery to take down the drones.
Drones. And also we have new machinery to kill the drones using...
We have new weapons to destroy the drones.
So that the computerized bullets, as they call them, and...
They're called computer bullets. Computerized. That's what they call them.
Also, lasers.
We also have lasers.
Well, the laser melts the drone. It's a beautiful thing.
Lasers melt the drones.
It's beautiful to see, and we have a lot.
It's beautiful to see.
Who knows what it is.
We hear it again. New weapons.
See, we knocked them out, including their drone production. Their drones are less effective now, and we also have new equipment to destroy them.
We have new machine guns.
So that the computerized...
New machinery.
Bullets, they call it, and also lasers.
We have lasers.
The laser melts the drone. It's a beautiful thing to see. So we have a lot of stuff.
Oh my goodness. The United States acknowledges that it has implemented something they were experimenting with, which Israel already has. A kind of iron beam for the sea, laser cannons. They had already experimented with this, but also there's a new bullet firing weapon. They can change their trajectory. What's that? What are we talking about? What's new that Donald J. Trump is bringing? Folks, exclusive right now on military strategies. I'll set up the watermark properly. Let's hope that this time the people from Todo es Mentira don't steal our watermark and erase it. No, let's hope not. No. By the way, next week you're going to receive a letter. There it is, family. What is that? The United States has installed a new combat platform on Arleigh class destroyers. A new toy against drones. The United States does it again. A new anti-drone story. And let's see how all this turns out. What could that be? It could be a new kind of anti-air defense system, a system carrying anti-drone missiles. It could also be the so-called laser cannon. The war of the future is already here. Now we're going to see laser cannons by the Strait of Hormuz firing into the skies. Israel already has it. In fact, Israel already has it. I'm going to tell you about it. During the Roaring Lion War, Israel has deployed aircraft that are small, deployed with an airborne laser cannon. Breaking news right now here on Estrategias Militares. I'm telling you what nobody wants to tell or hasn't wanted to tell you. But I will say it. Israel has an airborne laser cannon there. It's been said. Tremendous story, and that's what's happening right now. We're still family. 33,000 people right now. This is getting interesting. And the United States still hasn't sent any Ticonderoga guided missile cruisers. At least I have no evidence that there's any. If they send 4, get ready. Prepare yourself. They're bigger than a destroyer, with more carrying capacity, more firepower. I think they're going to send them. I think it would be logical to send them, but they know best. We leave the logistics to the experts. We just analyze what's happening. We continue with Donald Trump. And we have video of Bibi. Bibi has been in southern Lebanon. Get ready. That Bibi has been in which we also have news about October 7th in Gaza about the hostages. Thank you. And also from the Revolutionary Guard. And also from a lot of people we still have to see. And that done, I just launched attacks a while ago. Since this morning, more than 50 attacks throughout the day, throughout this day. We continue with Donald J. Trump. This interview is very juicy. Let's see now the thing about the 101 missiles. Well, no, before the 101 missiles, Trump, what is Donald Trump? About some things, the other one. What does Trump say about that? We'll see that now, in a few seconds. What does he say about the attack on the aircraft carrier involving the 101 missiles?
Let's review those things. First clip. We've already seen the new war machinery. How long would it take Donald Trump to finish off Iran? In terms of time, how long could it take? Because the markets want to know. How long does Donald J. Trump think it could take to end this story?
They also could have stayed out, but they made a mistake when they started launching missiles at him. And here's the good thing. The Gulf states, they are rich, and they have a lot of Patriots. Our Patriot missile, which is an anti-missile missile, and it's unbelievable.
He says the Patriot missiles are incredible. He says they made a mistake by launching those missiles.
They fired at us one day at a certain asset that we have, namely the aircraft carrier Abraham Lincoln, one of the...
They fired at the Abraham Lincoln one day.
Beauties of the world, one of the great beauties of the world. They fired 101 missiles.
101 missiles.
Missiles out of 100, these things are going more than 2,000 miles an hour.
They were going more than 2,000 miles per hour. More than 2,000 kilometers?
100. And out of 101 missiles, 100...
Out of the 101 missiles launched at the aircraft carrier, the Abraham Lincoln,
101 were shot down like nothing.
They were all shot down, as if they were paper, as if they were nothing.
And are now at the bottom of the sea.
And now they're at the bottom of the sea.
The remnants of them, think of it.
They're there, rusting, rotting.
101 missiles shot in a short
101 missiles shot down.
period of time. All 101 were knocked out. So we have the greatest military equipment.
We have the best military system in the world.
The greatest people. We have
the best people.
Far. Strongest military in the world by far.
We have the strongest army in the world.
Part. Everybody sees it, whether it's Venezuela.
He says, we can enter Venezuela.
Or what we've done with Iran.
Or what we've done with Iran.
And when I read, the fake news.
When I read the fake news.
Talking about how well Iran is doing.
Talking about how well Iran is doing.
They're not doing well at all and getting killed.
He says they're not doing well. They're dying.
I could take out Iran in one day.
I could take out Iran in one day.
I could take down Iran in 1 hour.
In 1 hour.
I could have their entire energy, everything, every one of these.
I can have the energy. I can have it all.
Their plants, their electric generating plants.
Plus power plants, everything.
Generating plants, which is a big deal.
Which is a big deal.
And I hate to do it.
He says, I hate to do it.
It takes you 10 years to rebuild them.
Because it's going to take them 10 years to rebuild it.
They'll never be able to rebuild it.
And they'll never be in a position to rebuild it.
And the other thing, I've taken out the bridges.
And on the other hand, I've taken out the bridges.
One, just to show them. Because
he says, I blew one up so they can see I'm capable.
Admit. They went public with a statement that wasn't true. They admit.
He says, at first they said it wasn't a lie, that the thing about the bridge was a lie. And then they said it was true.
I say, I'm going to take out a bridge.
First they said we weren't capable of destroying a bridge. And I said, well, let's take out one of their bridges.
And I took out a bridge.
And I blew up their bridge.
And that was the end of that now.
And he left in the end.
They've been really behaving quite well.
And now they really believe me.
But in 1/2 of a day.
But in half a day.
They wouldn't have one bridge standing.
They won't have a single bridge left standing.
They wouldn't have any power plants left.
They won't have any power plants, any electricity generation plants left.
No power plant will be left standing, and they'll be back in the Stone Age.
And they're going to go back to the Stone Age.
I'd rather not do that.
He says, I hope I don't have to do it.
But I do believe they're going to come to the table on this because...
But I think they're going to come to the table with this.
Nobody can be so stupid.
He says nobody can be that stupid. Well, Trump, they are stupid.
To say that we want to have nuclear weapons to do it.
They are stupid, Donald. They are very stupid. And they're going to do it. So the worse things get, the better it is for them. This is incredible. In an hour. In an hour. And what's going to happen with the price of fuel? what's going to happen. Donald J. Let's go. Let's listen to him. All of this is strange. In an hour, I'll blow up Iran.
They all said we agree.
So do you believe the price of oil and
Do you believe that the price of
gas will be lower
and will the price of gas be lower
before the midterm elections?
before the midterm elections?
I hope so. I mean, I think so. It could be.
I hope so. I think so.
It could be the same, or maybe a little bit higher.
He says, but maybe it could be higher.
But
Check out the journalist's expression.
should be around the same. I think
He says, but I think the price will be about the same.
it won't be that much longer.
He says, no, this isn't going to last much longer.
They're wiped out. They're wiped out, and you don't get the.
He says, they're wiped out.
You don't get a fair shake. You don't get. You know, we need a free and fair press in this country, and I don't even know why people would do that. Why would they say how wonderful they're doing militarily? They're doing so well. They're totally.
He says he doesn't understand why people claim Iran is doing so well militarily.
The country's wiped out.
He says the country is wiped out.
We lost one airplane and we captured the two pilots. They all said.
It's true. I don't know. The Iran fanboys saying, let's see, Khamenei is dead. The military leadership is dead. The replacements for the military leadership are dead. The head of intelligence has been taken out 3 times. If the smartest thing in your country gets taken out 3 times, what are you actually doing right on a military level? Launching ballistic missiles at cities. ¿Qué es Ashdod launching missiles at cities? At Haifa, Beersheba, Arad, Dimona. What is it? At Ashdod? What are you doing right? That is Iran's military response, and it's very poor. Pobre, very, very poor. What does he say about water? This is a big debate. Is Donald Trump going to destroy the water supply? They'll run out of water, even though supplies are low, because they've used it to build tunnels and missiles.
The maximum campaign, you can't do any more maximum. We've wiped out their whole country, essentially. The only thing left, really, is their water.
They say the only thing they have left to destroy is the water.
Which would be very devastating.
Which is going to be devastating.
I would hate to do it.
He says, I would hate to have to do this.
But it's their water, their desalination plants.
Okay. The water treatment plants turn seawater into drinking water.
Their electric generating plant.
Electricity generators.
Plants, which are very easy to hit. We could hit them. We could have them all down.
Can they blow up the desalination plants? Can they blow up everything? Everything.
Years. And I mean, down like you couldn't have electricity for 10 years.
He says you can't have electricity for 10 years. If they blow it up, you won't have electricity for 10 years.
Years, because it takes you 10 years to build those plants from.
Because you would need 10 years to rebuild them.
British scratch. You'd probably never be able to build them again. And the British.
It would never be possible to rebuild them again. It's incredible. He seems quite willing to me. In fact, he seems too willing. What's happening with China? We discussed China yesterday. Yesterday we were talking about China. Weapons sent to Iran. Weapons to Iran from China? What kind of weapons? What if China supplies them with weapons? Family, we are live right now on Estrategias Militares. There are 34,000 people, almost 35,000. We're missing a lot of likes. By the way, let's check if you are bots or not. Where are you joining us from today? I want to see those cards, those from LATAM, those people from the United States, from Spain, from Israel. What's going to happen with China? World War III?
ask about all these efforts and the impact on China, what you've done in Venezuela.
He asks about the effects and impact this has had on China and what you've done in Venezuela,
Iran,
what you've done in Iran,
your comments about Cuba.
your comments about Cuba.
Where does that put China as you approach this meeting with Xi Jinping next year?
He says, you have a meeting with Xi Jinping next month.
Sure.
What's going to happen?
Well, in the maximum campaign, you can't do any more maximum or we've wiped out their whole country, essentially.
He says, you can't do any more because we've blown up the Iranians' whole country.
The only thing left really is their water, which...
He says he's saying that what they have left is the water and so on. What does he say about China? Sorry, this isn't the right clip. Yes, this is the one. This is it.
would be very devastating. So
we looked at this before. Let's see what China says.
Ships to Venezuela. We told them we're knocking them out fast. Too much maxed out. Other than those few items, we still have some plants left. And, we had another week left to knock out the rest of the plants.
He says we have a week ahead to take out the rest of their plants.
But we would not get them out fast. As far as China is concerned,
he says about China.
China can send their ships to us. China can send their ships.
China can send ships to buy oil from us, to send ships to us.
Ships to Venezuela, we told them.
They can send them to Venezuela. We have told him to buy it from Venezuela.
We have a lot of overcapacity with selling.
We have a lot of capacity for him to buy.
And we'll probably sell it for even less money.
And we'll probably make a lot of money for him.
A very good relationship with the presidency of China.
We have a strong relationship with President Xi.
China, and we work together very well.
And we work together very well.
Well, they're paying us substantial money.
He's paying us a substantial amount of money.
We've never got money before.
Since we had never received money before.
I listened to this. Gordon Chang doesn't know what he's talking about. We've been tough on China.
He says we have been and remain very tough on China.
Tough but fair.
Justos. Tough but fair. Justos.
And, it's an amazing place.
He says it's an incredible place.
But I have a strong relationship with China, and they've been...
I have a great relationship with China.
During my, I put tremendous tariffs.
He says, I've put tremendous tariffs on them.
Put 100% tariff on all Chinese.
We've put a 100% tariff on all Chinese products.
Cars coming in, and that's destroying Europe. They're destroying...
And that has destroyed everything. It has destroyed Europe.
Destroyed Europe because they have taken so much business from Mercedes and BMW.
Because they had a lot of Mercedes and BMW cars.
Etc. And we don't have any Chinese cars.
We don't have Chinese cars. We don't have Chinese cars in our country.
They would have ruined General Motors.
Because it's going to destroy General Motors, Ford.
They would have destroyed these companies.
This will ruin these companies, and there aren't any Chinese cars here.
Yes, they did. So I put 100% tariffs on. And in all fairness to Biden, he allowed it to stay on, which is shocking because one of the things...
And what about the weapon? What will happen with sending weapons? And if China sends weapons to Iran, will there be a third world war? What do you all think, family? What will happen to 35,000 people right now if the Chinese send weapons to Iran to help them? Worry, pay attention to this, Donald Trump.
I have to ask you about all of these efforts and the impact.
Let's see. If you send it to China, weapons, what's going to happen? We're looking for the clip. Pay attention to the response. Notice that he said he gets along excellently with Xi, that they work together.
The other day that...
You said the other day...
Any country supports Iran...
That helps Iran or supports Iran...
And sends military equipment...
And send military equipment...
To Iran will face a 50%...
It will face a 50% tariff...
Tariff if they try to bring products. Did you...
Is that correct? And he says, that's correct.
Did you refer to China? Did you...
So this, were you referring to China with this?
Do you mean China?
Yes.
And other people, but...
And other people. Notice that Donald Trump doesn't think twice. He tells you directly, yes, it's because of China. If China sends a missile, he slaps a 50% tariff on it. And without any lube.
50% tariff if they try to bring products. Did you refer to China? Did you mean China?
Yes, and other people. But
And other people. Pedro, the dual-use material that Spain is sending to Iran, be careful, okay?
yes, China too.
And he says China too.
If we find that China, because
If we find that China, because I've heard
to a news report, so
from the news,
the news report doesn't mean much to me because
from the media, but that doesn't mean much to me either, because it's all lies.
it's so fake. But I hear news reports
But I've heard news
about China giving the shoulder missile.
that China wants to send them shoulder-launched missiles, the manpads, the ones we showed yesterday.
So it's called a shoulder-launched anti-aircraft missile. I doubt they would do that.
He says, I doubt they'll do it.
Because I have a relationship and
Because I have a relationship with him. And they've told me they're not going to do it.
they did a little bit at the beginning, but
And they did it a little bit at the beginning, but not anymore.
I doubt they'd tell anyone. But if we catch them doing that, I think
But if we catch them doing it,
you get a 50% tariff,
50% tariffs on China.
which is that's a staggering amount.
That's quite a lot of money. If the Chinese send a missile, Donald Trump hits them with a 50. What's going on with NATO? This is the big debate. Here, take a look. Those who are anti-NATO agree with my position. The United States is better off outside of NATO than inside. Literally. It saves money, strengthens its military, and grows stronger. And it forces NATO countries, which are very comfortable, like Spain, they have to spend money to protect themselves, which they don't want to do. They want to leave the whole bill to the American people. Meanwhile, our soldiers are in Lebanon, abandoned, with bedbugs, ticks, and fleas, according to relatives of soldiers who are there. Trump on NATO.
Sell things at full price, and we sell it to NATO, and they do what they want with it. But think of it, to make that statement after we've spent $350 billion US dollars, they made a statement, the Germans said it was bad, but all the statements are bad. No, we have to re-examine.
Because he says, we have to re-examine in NATO.
They weren't there for us, and I've said this before,
They're not there for us.
this for 25 years.
No. He says, for 25 years, let me tell you something. No.
They weren't there for us,
They were never there for us.
and they won't be there for us.
They'll never be there for us.
Not. They weren't there for us. This is just a military operation. This is not
He says this is a military operation, not a war.
a hard thing for us.
It's not a big deal for us. This is a military operation.
I rebuilt our military in the first term.
He says, in my first term, I rebuilt the armed forces,
He says, I'm using it in my second term.
and I've used them in my second term.
We have the greatest military energy.
We have the best army
Anywhere
in the world.
Now, I was right with spending all that money
And I was right. Spending all that money on rebuilding our armed forces.
in the world. We have the greatest military in the world
We have the best army in the world.
and the best equipment in the world. And it's amazing what we've been able to do. You look at Venice,
He says, and it's incredible what we can do. If you look at Venezuela, we're doing things for ourselves. It's impressive. What do you think, family? The United States leaving NATO, we're doing better. It's better for the United States. Ante. I think it would be an intense, nice, and interesting debate. Very, very interesting. Trump said he was going to wipe a civilization off the face of the earth. He was heavily criticized for this. There was a lot of talk about it. He has been widely condemned in the media for using words that were too aggressive. What does Trump say? Ron, what does Trump say about erasing a civilization?
You, Mr. President, I want to ask you about that because
Mr. President, I want to ask you something. What about,
you put out a tweet
what does erasing a civilization mean?
and it really gripped the nation.
Okay, that this shook the nation. What?
Watching. A week ago when we were all waiting and watching.
When we were all waiting,
Sideshow
we are watching
for the United States sex
for the next move of the United States of America.
chorus. Should the Iranians not open the Strait of Hormuz?
They saw that the move sensor was not open.
And you wrote this on Truth Social.
Truth. And you wrote this on your social network on Truth.
Truth. A whole civilization will
An entire civilization will die tonight.
die tonight, never to be brought back again.
They will never rise again.
I don't want that to happen, but it
I don't want that to happen, but it will probably happen.
probably will, now that we have a total regime change.
Now we have a completely new regime
Critical, smarter and less.
with different people, smarter, less radical.
Likewise, if like minds prevail, maybe something wonderful can happen.
He says maybe something nice could happen. Who knows? He says, Mr. President.
Criticized for this treaty
He says you've been heavily criticized for this message
because you said a whole civilization
because you said that an entire civilization was going to be destroyed.
will die tonight. What do you want to say about?
What do you want to say about this? What do you have to say about this? The answer is going to leave you stunned.
What can you tell us about next
What can you tell us about this?
steps here?
About the next steps in this?
Are you planning further destruction?
He says, are you planning destruction? What does Donald Trump say? Pay attention, because it's brutal.
Yeah, I'm fine with that statement.
He says, I'm happy with that message.
Expression brought them to the table with the expression,
It's good that you bring it up.
except for the one thing which I believe they're going to give up on.
He says, but I think they're going to give up before that.
I think they'll give up on that soon,
He says, I think they're going to give up very soon.
to be honest, because
Because it's not going to work.
no, we actually thought we had them, and then all of a sudden they said, no, we won't. So,
He says they were there hesitating, like, do we have it? Do we not have it?
no, but I believe no. And when I say that, but
No, but when I say this, to wipe a civilization off the face of the earth,
remember what they have said to us.
he says, remember what they say to us.
You've had to listen to them.
I've had to listen to them.
Say, death to America,
Death to America.
right? They say, death to America, death to Israel.
Death to America, death to Israel. They've been saying this for years.
America, the Satan, we will destroy America.
America, death to America now, and death to America. By the way, I want to say, if this is a news channel, news content, we are analyzing the responses of Donald J. Trump. We do not condone violence. We do not want any place on earth or the afterlife destroyed. We all want to get to Mars together, hand in hand, and sit around a fire to enjoy a good barbecue like my Argentine friends do in Israel. Greetings to them, the Jardín of the barbecue. Soon we'll do things with.
That? Does anybody ever complain to you when they say that?
He says, has anyone ever come to complain when they say this? Has anyone ever come to complain about them saying death to America, death to Israel?
I think that's a big step worse.
He says, I think those are very big words.
Death to America.
Death to America.
America, so they can say death to America.
America. They're allowed to say death to America.
America, and what I'm referring to is
No. And when I refer to their words, no.
about civilization.
And when I talk about a civilization,
It'll be much different because
he says it's going to be quite different.
their military will be gone. Basically,
This he says because the military will all be eliminated. He says,
it's gone now, but
like now, more or less. He says, look at their leaders.
because we have had regime change.
He says, there has been a regime change
The people we dealt with yesterday
because the people we dealt with yesterday, the ones we talked to yesterday,
were frankly very smart.
he says, frankly, they are quite smart.
Very sharp,
They are very straightforward.
very good.
They are very good.
Que las personas de antes,
Good.
I think they were smarter than people from before.
He says, I think they're smarter than the ones from before, than Khomeini and that group.
Look what it got them.
He says, but look what happened to them.
Look what all of their antics were spending trillions. They spent all
He says, they spent trillions of dollars.
their money on weapons. We've just destroyed most of those
We've destroyed nearly all of them.
weapons. But you know what?
But you know what?
Really, I say about a civilization,
But when someone talks about civilization,
it really has changed. It really has. But
this really has changed.
think of it. They're allowed to say death to
He says, think they're allowed to say death to America, death to Israel.
dies, death to this, death. He says,
Death to that, death to this.
I make one statement and they say, oh, such a big deal.
He says, but when I say it, oh, it's a big...
Let me tell you, that statement got them to the bargaining table, and they haven't left. They haven't left the bargaining table.
He says nobody laughed at this. That's true. European Union, Pedro Sanchez went crazy. He more or less wanted to invade Israel and the United States, if he could. When they say it, nothing happens. When Donald Trump says it, everything happens. It's all very curious. Very, very curious. You have to realize all of this. What is it and how far are we going to go with this whole story? I think that's where the key is. How far is Donald Trump willing to go? And that's what nobody knows for now. And we don't know because he still hasn't shown all the full military potential of the United States of America against the Revolutionary Guard. But journalists close to the Revolutionary Guard, Ali Golaki, says Trump's maneuver could drive up prices in Gulf countries, especially for goods passing through the checkpoints. But he says the United States won't do it, for example. It won't last more than 2 months as global costs rise and rivals gain strength. The Revolutionary Guard is saying that it can hold out for 2 months. Trump is shifting the narrative about failing to address hormonal stress como parte de una narrativa de pescado hormonal. Narrative of failure in hormonal, with the Houthis as part of a narrative of hormonal failure. Interesting. Breaking. Iran says, if you close Hormuz, we'll close the Red Sea for you. Suez Canal. Just so we're clear. Tremendous. Now the Houthis are going to play a significant role and they're going to get crushed. It's fine, they're going to get crushed. He's very angry with the United Kingdom. He's angry with NATO. He's angry with everyone. So Donald Trump is very upset. Very, very upset. By the way, terrorist attacks in the United Kingdom. Video. We have video. Video has been posted here. Let's watch it. This has been posted on social media. And in the media, we're going to publish it and let's see what happened there. They broke into a factory that makes defense technology components in Hampshire. And the group Palestine Action carried out the attack.
Come on, run down! On the floor!
Get on the floor now! I don't fucking hate you. Action Palestina carried out for... Here! There! Here it is! Here, there! Ah!
The window! You don't need to be violent, bloody hell!
The lady said she was there with a metal bar in your hand, breaking everything. You don't have to be violent toward the police. Mother of God. Mother of God. It's really good. I can't believe it. Let's see.
How are you?
He was speaking so normally, huh?
Oh, you don't need to pull my hair. You pulled my hair.
I mean, everything's destroyed here, but violence isn't necessary.
Pardon? Do you know why we're doing this? Do you know why I'm doing this?
Dice, do you know why we do this?
Even suspicious burgers are suspicious of humanity. Aiding and abetting.
Why did you arrest him? Let's see, why?
Suspicious. You are suspicious.
Sí, by burglar.
Yes.
Yes.
Clear, of course.
Because they trespassed on private property with the intent to damage it. It was glory.
Of humanity. Aiding and abetting genocide. Teeth. Why is it that millions have been drawn in your dice?
We're doing this because of the genocide. Good job by the police, congratulations. No one from the police has been injured. Good response. That's a very good response. For a bar, huh? But you don't have to be violent, huh? Let's see, please, please. Don't use violence against us. We just want to break our computers, set an airplane on fire, destroy a military base. No. Don't be violent, please. Not with violence. No. Not this. No. Congratulations to the police. Good job. I don't know what you all think in the chat. Let's see. Opinions in the chat. Let's see what our community is saying, since there are a lot of us here. What is this? What is this? Thank you for all the gifted memberships, super chats, and for participating with us. Thanks to everyone. We are live right now. We still have a lot of topics left, okay? Don't go anywhere. We still have a ton of topics to cover. Oh my goodness. Son una auténtica realidad. There are things that I sometimes find hard to believe, but they're actually true. They're really true. And it's impossible to cover them up. It's impossible. Yeah. So, Trump. Well, what did Danny Dano say? Let's turn to Danny Dano now for more of today's important remarks. Because also, Israel expects that in a week at most, we'll be fighting again. I said it yesterday on Judía Historia. I said, Ariel, 1 week, at most 1 week, and we'll be fighting with the Iranians again. So, no. Honestly, people make me laugh. There are some statements that are unbelievable. Well, from that point of view, that person in the video is confessing to what they're doing and why they're doing it. They're incriminating themselves. So, well, their lawyer won't be very happy when it comes down to it. They're the type who don't care about breaking in or destroying things because they believe nothing will happen to them. Comments. Let's get to the comments, community fam.
Lisa, thank you so much. Marifam, Baines finally finds out who he's negotiating with. Yes. JD Baines finally gets the picture. I tried to buy the kit and the bank blocked my card. I don't know why. The bank. The bank, I don't know what kit. All right, the MyHeritage kit. Okay. If you go to the official MyHeritage website and enter EM29 in the promo code, it'll be cheaper for you. And it's super interesting. Let's actually try to check out the website here. I'm not going to show it, and I'm going to tell you why. Well, yes, I'm going to show it. Yes, I'm going to show it. That's it. It's already sold. See? There you have the MyHeritage page. You can order the kit plus a 30-day subscription. The subscription gives you access to even more information about your family. But the basic kit right now, depending on where you live, has a different price than in other places. If you enter the code EM29, it will be cheaper for you. But there are 50 supported languages,
9.6 million DNA tests in their database. Well, 39 billion historical records. And here you're going to see things, for example, if you have English, Scandinavian, Italian, North African, Jewish, or Spanish ancestry, all of this will show up, and it's really amazing. I'm serious, it's really amazing to do it. It's not a blood test, many people have asked, it's actually a saliva test. You swab your mouth with a little stick, then you break it, put it inside, and there are instructions inside this box. There are some amazing instructions, and you can see it. Yes, this is how the test is done. We're going to see it. At home, you open it. You open the small box and find clear instructions in your language. And it's very easy. It's super easy, really. Then you put everything in an envelope, you send it, because I think the return shipping costs, at least as far as I know, I think the return shipping costs are included. So it's super easy to do, huh? Super easy to do. You take out the swab, you rub it on one side of your mouth, then you rub it on the other side of your mouth. You send it in, and in a couple of weeks, you get the results. See? You break the black part, it stays inside. All stays protected and sealed. And there's also something important. Your personal data is protected and not shared with anyone. So people can be at ease about this, and it's sent. It's sent directly. And you receive access with all the information and with all this stuff. It's really cool. I've done it myself. Also, I bought it myself. They didn't give it to me for free. I bought it at the time. I bought my heritage, and I bought one from another company too. I bought both, and the one I liked the most was my heritage. For the information, price, and features it provides. I liked it overall, and I'm very happy with the services they offer. Also, regularly, when a new close relative is found or there's a new match, they notify you, they send you an email, you can contact the person, you can send them a message to start establishing some kind of relationship. Or get more information about your ancestors, about where you come from. This, I'm telling you, I love this. These things seem super interesting to me. Now let's go with Danny Dano. What did Dano say? What about this story? I find it super interesting. Danny Dano, and spokesperson for Israel at the United Nations. Ambassador.
Thank you for having me, Jackie.
He says, thank you for inviting me, Jackie. Make my camera a little smaller so Jackie can be seen. And
not surprised because he says,
I'm not surprised.
At the United Nations for years.
He says, because I've been at the United Nations for years.
To see their attitude.
I've seen the Iranians' attitude.
They feel superior.
They feel superior.
To the US,
They feel superior to Americans.
Countries.
To the Gulf countries.
To Israel.
To Israel.
And I think they came to the negotiations.
He says, I think they came to the negotiations.
They thought they could fool President Trump.
He says, thinking they could trick Donald Trump.
But they got wrong. You cannot fool President Trump.
He says, but you can't trick or fool Donald Trump.
He told them very directly.
And he has told him quite directly.
You know, if you want to negotiate.
He says, if you want to negotiate.
Let's talk about the main points.
He says, let's talk about the main points.
Nuclear activities.
Nuclear activity.
The ballistic missiles.
The ballistic missiles.
And they played games, they went around.
He says he's already played games.
Should. It doesn't work that way. I think the Iranians should.
He says, I think the Iranians.
Go back.
They should go back.
And have a reality check to understand why.
And rethink this. See the ability.
Where they stand now.
Where are they now? Let them see where they are right now. What position are they in?
With their situation.
With this situation.
And come back to the negotiations.
And come back to the negotiations.
When actually willing to negotiate when?
When they have the ability to negotiate.
Not to play any games.
He says not to play games.
So what does all this mean?
It's clear. I mean, why would you go into negotiations if you can't negotiate? If the Revolutionary Guard or anyone in the country won't let you negotiate, if there's someone who doesn't allow you to negotiate, okay. The United Kingdom and France are currently working with a coalition to protect freedom of navigation. Are you sending ships or not? The United Kingdom will not join the blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. We still support freedom of navigation and keeping the strait open. So now they're going to send ships to prevent Donald Trump from closing the strait. Let's see if now they're going to send warships against American ships. I'm already lost with this. The Revolutionary Guard warns that any military ship near the Strait of Hormuz will be seen as violating the ceasefire and dealt with firmly. But there isn't even a ceasefire anymore. Who's going to explain to the Revolutionary Guard that the ceasefire was for negotiations? Door. There's no negotiation anymore. The negotiations are over. What's happening is that they're going to wait for someone to shoot. They're going to wait for someone to shoot first so they can look like victims. Israel's Channel 14. Israel on maximum alert. There's a possibility that Iran will end negotiations with a large-scale attack on Israeli territory. Unbelievable. And what about Bibi? We haven't included him. You know, if we don't mention Netanyahu, we don't get paid. Where is Bibi? Is he alive? How many fingers does he have? Let's go see him. Let's see where Bibi is. There she is. She's in Lebanon.
There's a wonderful breeze here. They have the ability to fight. They are fighting at their best. The war continues, including inside security zone in Lebanon, which I visited just a short while ago.
The war continues, including inside the security zone in Lebanon, says Bibi. Iran, the axis of evil, sought to destroy us, but is now fighting for survival.
La comandat Kalbika Pikuridad. Akale Kaluda. Kendao Bas. There's a beautiful
Con él. And I saw that he puts on his battle suit and goes to Lebanon. We haven't seen Mokjaba. We haven't seen Mokjaba with him. The turban and the jelaba. Going to fight against the United States. We don't know if he's going to go with one leg, with two, without legs, or if he's even alive. We haven't seen Mokjaba. But Iran is winning the war. Iran is winning the war. No commander, no member of the political leadership has died in Israel. But Iran is winning the war. Everything. Relax. Iran is winning and will win the war. There's no doubt about it. It's going to get messy. It's going to get really, really messy. By the way, this creature, a citizen of Gaza, the one we see posing so cheerfully and happily, with a kidnapped human being, with a smiling Israeli, he has been eliminated. I repeat, is Hamas terrorists who had human beings imprisoned in tunnels, responsible for the kidnapping of Goldberg Polin, of Alon Agel, of Iran, of Elia Cohen, and of Orlevy, in Rain, at the Rain bus stop, in the shelter where they threw up to 6 grenades. No, where Goldberg Polin, he was taking out the grenades with his hand until one exploded in his hand. He has been eliminated. I was there a couple weeks ago. I was there for a little while to recharge my batteries. We were at Nova. You'll see the video soon. While launching missiles from Iran. Eliminated. The situation in the Gaza Strip right now. Hamas using violent repression against the population. But nobody dares to denounce it. Wall Street Journal, the fake news, United States news, Tehran still has capability to build a nuclear bomb. We believe them, we don't believe. We take it seriously, we don't take it seriously. What's it gonna be now? Pedro Sanchez's excuse not to allow the United States planes to go and eliminate the threat from Tehran. Iran has said that it will not give up nuclear weapons. Your partners, Pedro, your partners, are they going to say something? Is anything going to be done about this, by the way? Bad news. Very bad news for Hezbollah. In Lebanon. Very bad news. Yesterday, we announced. Here on Estrategia Militares, we said there is a population in the prison in Lebanon. Let's go there. Where the IDF were surrounding all of it. The population. It's already completely surrounded. Right now, in this circle that you see, this population center, a lot of terrorists are surrounded there without the ability to get out. They can't get out of there. They're trapped. That's the current situation in the skies. What's happening? What's going on? Iran doesn't know what's coming. Look at the skies right now. United States cargo planes landing, bringing more and more equipment and more anti-aircraft defense to the Gulf countries, bringing more ammunition. By the way, this thing you see here, this is interesting. Children, 2 helicopters from the United States of America in the Rafah area. What are they doing there? We've never discussed this before in depth. There's an observer mission for the ceasefire between Israel and Egypt. They have military bases on the Egyptian side. This one here. They must be carrying out some kind of operation or training to confirm that the ceasefire agreements are being upheld. That's a curious thing too. One day we'll talk about it. Well, look at how things are. Things are really heating up. It's red hot. Look, all the cargo planes that are arriving, that are being sent, the C-5 Galaxies, everything the United States is moving. It's absolute madness. All for the final blow. The final act of this story, the last chapter, it's coming out now. It's in the works. It's in the works. Saudi Arabia summoned the ambassador of Iraq because of threats against the kingdom using drones launched from Iraqi territory. The CIA used Israeli spyware called Pegasus. You've heard about it before, right? In a deception operation during efforts to rescue a downed United States pilot in Iran, sending false messages to Iranian officials and Islamic Revolutionary Guard operatives, claiming that the pilot had already been recovered. That's tremendous. What an incredible story. No. There are so many details we don't know about everything that has happened. No. No, the day we find out. It will change the course of history. Family, thank you so much for joining us live here in this military strategy. It's truly a pleasure. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's very important. Gracias. We're still a long way from 1 million, but you can be part of that story. It's free. That's all we ask of you. Just stay with us. Take care. See you in the next show.